Dudes here once again. Thanks for pressing play and for bearing with me today. Bearing with me today. I know that the world has gotten very, very stressful. I've been saying for many years to Buck, bearing with me today. Bearing with me.
May 21st, 2021.
An exact moment can send you to jail for a
4
while and mess up your life.
4 hours ago.
Or fix it while it was already messed up. While you go to jail, you become free for the first time. So maybe it was necessary.
I'll refresh it.
I would have not been in jail.
There's a 4 hours ago. I'm talking about being free in jail. I'll refresh this.
Guy, you know, they teach this nonsense in school. It's nonsense.
2 hours
We
ago.
evolved because even a man in prison can be free in his heart and in his mind. Not saying that we're in prison, but I am saying we're gonna be set free.
It's a good point to follow up on.
Something as simple as making a decision in your head at an exact moment can send you to jail. For a while you go to jail, you become free for the first time. So maybe it was necessary.
I feel the pressure. It's weighing on me as well. All the things going on. All the things going on. So many things, right? Do I even have to list them? So many things. You feel like you have no say. You feel like you have no power. You feel like you got no control. But that's okay because God's...
Will the angel of the bottomless pit push the button and shut this glitter down? In 1 more minute. Hell no.
You got a police officer, at least a police officer drove by at what time?
Nope.
8:48.
You feel like you have no say. You feel like you have no power. You feel...
My God, why hast thou forsaken me?
That's okay because God's given us clue after clue after clue after hint. He's speaking loud and clear.
I went to jail. What do you think? Do you think I thought twice about going out and stealing something? Because if I thought twice, I would have not been in jail.
I exist.
By you too, like I said, better be careful when you start throwing stones, folks. A lot of people like to run their mouth about other people. I've heard a lot of stuff about me that's not true.
I alone can save you. Not some goofy statue that's in Rio. I tried to do a 1 minute short, didn't work out. I shared it on the old Twitter, which by the way, before I go any further, I'm now on Telegram. Everybody told me to get on it. I've been looking for some kind of a messaging app where I'm finally there. So will you join me so that we can keep in touch? Because things are getting a little spooky. It's come to that. Hey, can you believe that word means cow too? Vaca, from Latin, cow. It's interesting. It's interesting. You know the first Air Force One, but it was like it was called the Sacred Cow. I think that was the name of the first the first Air Force One. but it was like it was called the Sacred Cow. I think that's that was the name of the first. Something like that. Interesting. Baal worship right in the land. My last couple of videos on Elijah. Interesting. It's all interesting. You got a president who doesn't mention God. You got stuff like this being broadcast all over the... And you know what God's doing in response? He's collapsing like historic landmarks.
A lot of people believe it. Here we go, right here.
too.
Kite, right here.
And kite.
Song right here. It's in the show notes. That song right there. Just go look
Kite. Benjamin Franklin. Flying a
at.
kite.
Just go look at the. Just go look at the lyrics
Ben
for Kite.
Franklin. Kite.
The Lord associated that
Flying
with
a kite.
614 in Marshall, blown by the wind. I'm like,
You too.
the way he does things is beyond your comprehension. It's beyond.
Collapsing like historic landmarks. The Darwin Arch. Yeah, the Darwin Arch. This one. Collapsed. Gone. No longer an arch. Just got like two little rock formations. Look like duality. The duality of man. But that name Darwin, we know, synonymous with, follow meathead beliefs. I'm like a little bit of a zombie. God's declaring himself. Darwin overwhelmed? Do some yard work. I went out and I trimmed I have this big bush and it was just getting overgrown and I trimmed it. And I trimmed it into a heart. Yeah, I did. It took me forever. And then when I was
Is that where people were?
covered in this black like mold thing. Now my garage looks beautiful. It's like redwood. Crazy.
The music gets too loud.
Fungus among us, right? So there's this fungus that's killing these, eating the cicadas alive. The cicadas alive, and they're all bombed on like psilocybin. It's like this fungus that gets you high. Something kooky.
Sounds like
right, but it's literally
mushrooms.
Rotting their
Suicide.
abdomens away. So robbing. It's like literally abdomens away. So robbing them. Zombies are all the rage. Zack Snyder coming out with Army of the Dead. I'm researching zombies, which is so goofy.
And their eyes shall consume away in their holes. Eyes in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. This is really a CDC. Like they're really pushing us for what to do for zombies. I guess so, because they're getting you conditioned to see the zombies that are rising up from the pit. It's the time of the hour of darkness.
On the last program, I talked about how when Jesus healed the man that was blind, he says, I see men as trees, and I explained the significance between trees and us. It's a great allegory of us.
Wait a minute, is that Jesus's stuff? Or did Lazarus take his face mask off?
I know what it is now.
Empty tomb? Wait a minute,
I know what that is now.
These mink, they buried him next to like streams and drinking water and everything, so they had to be exhumed. They were just exhumed. The reason why they're called zombie mink is because they were bubbling up to the ground, all the gases and everything else, and they were coming, and they were basically, it looked like they were crawling out of the grave. It's a scary, scary, scary thing.
Crawling out of the grave. Yesterday's video, there were diapers all over the place, like just a whole bunch of them.
Is that Jesus's stuff?
Over.
Or did Lazarus take his
over by the grave.
face mask off and come out of the tomb? Because it is open. I mean, it's not sealed anymore. I almost feel like it's empty, like there's nothing in there.
Look at that. Slaughter do. Rising mass graves. Rising from mass graves.
Zombies, right? Half dead, half alive.
Would they go through that extreme? It just looked like somebody littered a bunch of those diapers for older people.
Twice dead, the scriptures say about the Pharisees. Zombies, you know, they don't think.
On each side. But this is the part that there's
on the last program I talked about how when Jesus healed the man that was blind, he says, I see men as trees, and I explained the significance between trees and us. It's a great allegory of us.
Zombie trees.
How our brains are very much, you know, we have these synapses that are called dendrites, which is how we process information. And they're branches, like branches of thought. Jesus said every branch that's not rooted in me, so every thought that's not rooted in the truth is cut up, cast into the fire. And what are the fire? We're in the fires. Hard times. They're like zombies. That's why zombies are everywhere. Even zombie trees. Yeah, like these half-dead trees called zombies trees, and they're dangerous, if you will. My God, the only one that exists. There's only one God, one Spirit, one Lord, one baptism, one body, who we all are. This is the day. This is the day of the Lord. It's upon us. So embrace it. I love each and every one of you. Thank you ever. Don't let this stuff stress you out, get you bummed out. Go outside and do some yard work. Yeah. You'll like it. You'll like what's hidden underneath all the mess. Might be a beautiful
I was
heart.
a little behind on.
Maybe a beautiful garage. I don't know. You tell me. But sometimes you got to cut away at the stuff that's blocking you. You got to get rid of the stuff that's hurting you. Cut away at the stuff that's blocking you. You got to get rid of the stuff that's hurting you, so that you can see the beauty that's beneath.
Underground. And over here is where you get taken back to the Jedi. Have your fruit inspected. You know, the reason why I went out and did weed whacked some of the bushes that were sticking up too long is because I heard Jacob talking about go out there and why don't you cut your bushes. I'm like, yeah, I should do that. I just haven't had a lot of time to do anything. I'm trying to get the world together.
Leave a comment, subscribe, and share.
I mean, it's not like it's a 20 by 20 red tarp, but it does look like there's a ladder on there. Looks like a ladder. Like there's trouble coming. Trouble ahead. for Jacob.